Greetings, welcome. I'm Joylyn Blake. I'm the director of School A Academy, and I'm with my friend Christina Royals, who is one of our math instructors. And we're going to talk a little bit today about one of the delightful courses that Christina teaches. So, Christina, tell us what it is you teach and like the age group, the age range that it serves.
So this year, I am teaching both Foundational 5 and Fundamentals. This is my second year with School A. I love School A. I'm so pleased to be here and I'm pleased to be back. But we're going to talk mainly about Foundational 5 today, which is the course that caters to most of the fifth grade curriculum.
Right. Thank you. That threw me off at first when I would see that number 5 behind it. Does that mean it's the 5th level? Well, it kind of stands for roughly 5th grade. There's some latitude there, but roughly 5th grade. So, being that this is you're going into your second year, tell me from your experience, what have students really enjoyed about the class? I know you have quite a fan club out there, so what have students enjoyed about your classes?
It's a budding fan club. I hope to add more to it. I can honestly say that at the end of last year's course, I did do an all class, a little bit of an exit interview, and I asked them these questions. And about 100% of them said, "We really like your jokes, Miss Royals," which has nothing to do with the curriculum, I'm sorry to say. But I definitely hit them with knock knock jokes. We did riddles. But what I do is it's important to infuse humor because when you can get a child to laugh, when you can get them to smile, then they relax. It also is a fun way to grab their attention. We used to call it in educational jargon the hook. So we would take brain breaks, and there would be times where I would share jokes or they would share jokes. And I had three rules: keep it clean, keep it classy, and make it corny. So the three C's of joke telling. But we find fun ways as well with humor to remember things. Just this week, I told my students if someone called them average, they were to reply, "That's mean." So that's your math pun for the day. Took you a second, didn't
It
it?
took me a second. It took me a second. So,
More
knowing
likely to
that
remember it now, though.
yeah, well, I have no doubt that, the students, like, they're gonna totally latch on to corniness and those jokes that not only, like you said, helps them to relax and feel comfortable, but it does really take down their anxiety, and math can be an anxiety-inducing subject sometime. So it's not just the students that I've heard from about your classes in particular. It's parents who have got me on the phone and told me my child that has become my child's favorite class, favorite subject. And I know that you're beloved by parents because you kind of brought their child from the brink in some tough times in math. So what have you heard from parents, that they've appreciated about the course?
I'm definitely in the business of changing minds as much as I can. I do tell the students, you may not love math at the end of this course, but you're not going to be afraid of it. You're going to have the tools and you're going to have the resources to approach a problem without fear of failure. Um, so what, sorry, reiterate the question. What have I heard from the parents?
Yeah.
The
And
similar
like you
things that
said,
you said, that they were very appreciative that their child no longer dreaded math or was afraid. I had one student in particular, her mother. So at the beginning of the year, she was, in tears, and I didn't know this until the spring. She said she would leave her class and she was just so frustrated. She felt the content was too difficult. My heart was breaking. I said, "Oh my goodness, are you sure? Are we talking about the same child?" She said, "Well, she stuck with it because in the beginning it can be an adjustment period, and she ended up finding a love for it."
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
love those. Those are my favorite stories when I hear about a child who is no longer afraid to do math.
yeah, and that instinct that we're able to impart to them to not give up, to see it through, and then the reward that's at the end of that, which you do so beautifully. So, give
I
us a
think a
little
large piece of the confidence is
Mhm.
also from seeing me fail. I don't work all the problems in advance of class because I make my mistakes in real time and make my errors as anybody would if you're talking and watching students and trying to do math at the same time. And I always tell them, I was like, "Give me a break, guys. I'm human, doing four things at once over here." And they got to a point where And they were more comfortable saying, Miss Royals, I don't know if that's right. And they would respectfully question. I said, okay, let's check it again. And I like that because now they're analyzing and checking my work, which means they have a command of the content
Yeah.
enough to where they can advocate not only for themselves but to speak up and challenge. And
Yeah.
that's great. So I boo boo all the time, and I tell them, fail is first attempt in learning, and you're going to see me mess up all the time, and that's okay because you're going to mess up too, and that's okay.
That is beautiful. And that clearly demonstrates kind of why those anxiety levels go down and the willingness to try goes up because you've given them permission through your own example. So tell us some of the concepts or some of the skills. What are just the topics that they will learn in level 5?
We did mention fifth grade earlier. You can, like you said, there's some leeway there. There's some room for advanced fourth graders or someone who maybe didn't have a great fourth or fifth grade experience and they feel like many skills are missing. This is the class for you. This is the culmination of the elementary lower school math topics before you spring into the middle school topics, which open up to more pre-algebra and more abstract concepts. So some of the topics you'll be seeing will be understanding wholes versus parts, meaning all decimal place value, all the decimal operations, fraction operations. So those are your wholes and your parts being used together there. And so we have some geometry concepts. So we'll recover area. They probably already seen area, but we're going to touch it again. Coordinate plane, that one jumps in there. We've got volume of three-dimensional figures, perimeter, let's see, it's a lot. It's a very big course uh, pacing. That's not the word I'm
Mhm.
looking for. See, I'm fumbling.
No, I know what you mean. It's the top,
But
it's kind of like the topical things that they're going to be studying throughout the year. And I think you articulated it beautifully when you said it's kind of the culmination of an elementary math studies program.
yeah, we
So,
do all the multi-digit operations with the whole numbers as well, and estimation and rounding. We get exponents in there. We get order of operations on a basic level in there. So we're introducing some of these other topics as well.
mhm,
And I know that they will see them again later on. So this is a great way for them to build, a little bit of a challenge there on top of the standard algorithms that we find so often in elementary math.
yeah.
Ways
Okay,
to do
so
higher
last,
order thinking and critical thinking embedded in there as well. More problem solving at this level.
yeah, yeah. All right, so I've got one final question for you then, and this is based on what I saw come through last year. Some art, I believe, integrated into some of the assignments. So give us a little peek at like some project or something that they get to look forward to that they get to show what they know in a kind of a creative way.
One of our teaching constructs is that math is in the world around us and the beauty of God's design. And a lot of that can be found in art. So I do think that this gives students who sometimes we try to separate. We try to say, oh, I'm not very analytical, but I'm very artistic. There's no reason why there can't be a merge of those and why you can't cater to the more artistic types in the math classroom. So I try to let those juices flow. We do coordinate plane pictures. They get to design their own pictures. We do tessellations, and I do some real world activities where I have them do budgets for projects that involves decimals. They have some teamwork projects as well where they get to reteach and present to us. More to come. This last year was my first year of the class, and so now I've got more of an idea of other things I can do with them. So I'm looking forward to implementing some of those as well. And I have some great new resources that are not anagrams, analogies, patterning. I like to put those in there as well. I like to see the students have to use logic and reasoning to solve problems that they may not be math problems, but you still have to use those parts of your brain in that math class. So we wake them up in different ways.
I love it, which, like you said, it not only poises them for success in higher level maths, but really that comprehensive way of integrating their knowledge, whether they're going to use this as a springboard into logic courses at the middle and high school years or into other art forms and things like that. So you beautifully set them up for that. And I can say that no family would be disappointed if they enroll in a course with Miss Christina Royals. So welcome
Hope
everybody.
not.